Let us continue enthalpy of combustion. Now we will write a standard enthalpy of combustion of benzoic acid. Of benzoic acid we will take. Okay, standard enthalpy of combustion of benzoic acid we will take. Okay, for this how to write equation we will see. Now here C means combustion. Combustion of what? Benzoic acid. So combustion of benzoic acid in the sense benzoic acid is burning. Okay. So now we will take benzoic acid, that is C6H5COOH. Benzoic acid, it is solid. Okay. Benzoic acid formula C6H5COOH, it is solid. It is undergoing what in the sense combustion. Combustion means burning with oxygen gas. Burning with oxygen gas. This carbon combining with oxygen to give carbon dioxide gas, we can say. This hydrogen combining with oxygen to give water liquid, we can say. Water liquid. Okay. Carbon on combustion gives carbon dioxide. Hydrogen on combustion gives water. Sir, why to write carbon into carbon dioxide? Why can't we write carbon into carbon monoxide? This possibility also there. When carbon undergoes incomplete combustion, it will give carbon monoxide. If benzoic acid undergoes incomplete combustion, some unburnt carbon will be there. Some will be carbon monoxide, some will be carbon dioxide. Like this possibility is there. It is going for a incomplete combustion. If it goes for incomplete combustion, some unburnt carbon will be obtained. Some carbon monoxide obtained, some carbon dioxide is obtained. Then which we have to take? If there is no condition is given, if there is no assumption is given, then we have to consider complete combustion. We have to consider. We have to consider complete combustion. As per that, we have to proceed. So if we consider complete combustion, then carbon into carbon dioxide only we have to write. Hydrogen into water. Okay. So we have written this equation by considering complete combustion. If it is mentioned, in the question, if it is mentioned incomplete combustion or partial combustion like this, if it is mentioned, then we have to change it. Otherwise, no. Okay. So complete combustion we are considering. So carbon into carbon dioxide, hydrogen into water. Let us balance this equation. Carbon 6, here 1 7. So 7 carbon dioxide. Oxygen, if you see here 7 into 2 14. Hydrogen will balance. Here 5, here 1 6. Therefore 3 water molecules will write. Oxygen will balance 7 into 2 14. Here 3 17 oxygens. Here 2 are the remaining 15. Therefore 15 by 2. So we have balanced. In order to cancel this denominator 2, we have to multiply the whole equation by 2. 2 times 66H5COOH, 15 O2 gas gives 14 CO2 gas plus 6 H2O liquid. Okay. So this is the balanced equation, we can say. So for this equation, standard enthalpy of reaction is called standard enthalpy of combustion of benzoic acid. Okay. For this equation, standard enthalpy of this reaction is called standard enthalpy of combustion of benzoic acid, we can say. Why? Because benzoic acid undergoes combustion 1 mole. Okay. So how to define standard enthalpy of combustion of benzoic acid? For that case, what we have to do means benzoic acid, we have to take 1 mole. That 1 mole of benzoic acid should undergo complete combustion. While how much heat liberated, that is called standard enthalpy of combustion of benzoic acid under standard conditions. Okay. Now, as per this equation, we'll take for this equation, we'll take a standard enthalpy of reaction. We'll take for this equation. For this equation, we have written standard enthalpy of reaction. Here, what is this value means? What is this value? That this meaning is 2 times benzoic acid should react completely. 2 moles of benzoic acid should undergo complete combustion, while what is the heat liberated? That is called this delta RH naught. But this delta RH naught means 1 mole of benzoic acid undergoing complete combustion. So this delta RH naught indicates amount of heat liberated when 1 mole of benzoic acid undergoes complete combustion. This delta RH naught indicates amount of heat liberated when 2 moles of benzoic acid undergoes complete combustion. Therefore, magnitude of this delta RH naught and magnitude of this delta RH naught is different. They are not same. Okay. Therefore, now we want what in the sense we have to say this one in terms of standard enthalpy of combustion of benzoic acid. We have to say standard enthalpy of combustion of benzoic acid. We have to say. Okay. So this is for 2 moles. Here 2 moles of benzoic acid undergoing complete combustion. But this definition says enthalpy of combustion means 1 mole of benzoic acid should undergo complete combustion. Therefore, this delta RH naught is for 2 moles. For 1 mole in the sense we have to divide by 2. This is equal to standard enthalpy of combustion of benzoic acid. Okay. Sir, so standard enthalpy of combustion in the sense 1 mole of substance you have to take that should undergo complete combustion, while how much heat is liberated, that is called standard enthalpy of combustion. Standard in the sense standard conditions. Have you got idea? Sir, now we will write one equation, that is sulfur will take rhombic solid. This with oxygen gas gives what in the sense sulfur dioxide gas. Sulfur, rhombic sulfur we are taking, it is solid. Rhombic sulfur we are taking, that is solid. It is burning with what in the sense oxygen gas. Rhombic sulfur is burning with oxygen gas to give what in the sense sulfur dioxide gas. Okay. This reaction, what to say this reaction? Okay. Standard enthalpy of this reaction is called what? Standard enthalpy of this reaction is called what? Is called one we can say standard enthalpy of formation of sulfur dioxide gas, we can say. We can say like this. Because as per this word, formation of sulfur dioxide, see, sulfur dioxide is formed. From where? From its constituent elements. What is that? Sulfur rhombic. Sulfur is in standard state. Then oxygen. Oxygen gas is in standard state. Therefore, this equation is representing formation of sulfur dioxide. So, amount of heat involved in this reaction representing standard enthalpy of formation of sulfur dioxide. Okay. Therefore, we can say standard enthalpy of this reaction is called standard enthalpy of formation of sulfur dioxide gas, we can say. Then we can say in another form, that is standard enthalpy of combustion of rhombic sulfur, we can say. Rhombic sulfur, we can say. Standard enthalpy of combustion of rhombic sulfur, we can say. Now see, this rhombic sulfur here, as per this 1 mole of rhombic sulfur we have to take. Okay. Now see in this equation, how much sulfur has undergone combustion, you see. 1 mole of rhombic sulfur has undergone combustion. 1 mole of rhombic sulfur on combustion gives sulfur dioxide gas. 1 mole of rhombic sulfur on combustion gives sulfur dioxide gas. Therefore, here in this equation, amount of heat involved is also called standard enthalpy of combustion of rhombic sulfur. Okay. So, for this equation, we can say standard enthalpy of this reaction is called standard enthalpy of formation of sulfur dioxide gas, standard enthalpy of combustion of rhombic sulfur, we can say, for this equation. Okay. Next equation will take carbon. Carbon plus oxygen. Carbon will take graphite. Carbon we are taking graphite solid plus oxygen gas gives what in the sense carbon dioxide gas. Carbon dioxide, graphite solid, carbon, graphite solid combining with oxygen gas, burning with oxygen gas gives carbon dioxide gas. For this reaction, standard enthalpy of this reaction, standard enthalpy of this reaction is called standard enthalpy of formation of carbon dioxide gas, we can say. Because what is formed here? Carbon dioxide is formed. From where? From its constituent elements. One is graphite, one is carbon in the sense its standard state is graphite solid. Oxygen, oxygen gas. Okay. So carbon, graphite solid, oxygen gas gives carbon dioxide gas. It is called standard enthalpy of formation of carbon dioxide gas, you can say. Another thing we can say, standard enthalpy of combustion of graphite, we can say. Standard enthalpy of combustion of graphite. Standard enthalpy of combustion of graphite, in the sense, combustion of graphite means what? Graphite undergoes combustion. Combustion of graphite, in the sense, graphite undergoes combustion. So graphite on combustion with oxygen gives carbon dioxide gas. Okay, 1 mole of graphite undergoes complete combustion to give carbon dioxide gas. So amount of heat involved in this reaction is called standard enthalpy of combustion of graphite. Okay, so that delta RH naught of this equation is also called delta FH naught of CO2 or delta CH naught of graphite, we can say. Sir. So now we came to know that how to write combustion equation. Combustion equation, how to write, we know that. Okay. Suppose suppose given is a combustion of benzene, then what you have to do? Benzene liquid you have to take plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide and water we have to say. Okay, sir. Next step, how to find experimentally standard enthalpy of combustion, that we will see. How to find experimentally standard enthalpy of combustion, for which what we will take, in the sense, bomb calorimeter will take. So we are taking a bomb calorimeter to find a enthalpy of combustion. We are taking bomb calorimeter to find enthalpy of combustion. Okay, sir. Now we will take a, we are taking the vessel. In this we will take so and so. Here we will take a substance. For which substance we have to find enthalpy of combustion, that substance we will take. For which substance we want to find combustion, that substance we will take. Okay. So here we have taken a substance, for example, W gram, for which we have to find a enthalpy of combustion. Okay. Then what we will keep, in the sense, here so and so we will keep. Through this we will pass current, will pass plus and minus. On passing current, what will happen means, this coil is getting heated up. It will initiate this substance to undergo combustion. Okay. So in order to make this substance to undergo combustion, this coil is placed. Next, we will place a tube. We will place a tube. To this, what let us pass, in the sense, oxygen gas let us pass. How much, in the sense, excess of oxygen gas we have to pass. Why should we pass excess of oxygen gas? Then only this substance will undergo complete combustion for that case. Okay. Then let us close this. Let us close this one. We have closed this. This is made up of steel. This vessel is made up of steel. Then this vessel is placed in another vessel. This vessel is placed in another vessel like this. In this another vessel, what we have taken, in the sense, water, liquid we have taken. Liquid water we have taken. Then we have to close this. Then we have to close this one. Then we have to close this one. Then we have to keep what, in the sense, we have to keep thermometer, we have to keep. We have to keep thermometer. Here it is what, in the sense, mercury bulb. Mercury is there, and it is what, in the sense, thermometer we can keep. Okay. Thermometer is placed. It is completely filled with what, in the sense, water. For this support to sit. Sorry. Now what we have to do means, what is the initial temperature of water, that we have to find it. We have to find a initial temperature of water. Instead of saying initial temperature of water, better we can say initial temperature of calorimeter, we can say. What is calorimeter? All the instruments present in this one is called calorimeter. All the parts present in this one is called calorimeter. Okay. Then here one stirrer is placed. One stirrer is placed in order to stir the contents. Stirrer is placed. So initial temperature of calorimeter is we have noted that is T1. Calorimeter in the sense this complete device is called calorimeter. Okay. Next, pass the current. Coil is getting heated up. This coil is making the substance to burn. Oxygen gas is given, so substance is burning. Let the substance undergo complete combustion. For that case, pass excess of oxygen gas. Okay. When the substance undergoing combustion, because of that, heat will be given to all the contents of the calorimeter. Therefore, temperature of the calorimeter rises and continuously stir the contents such that heat will be distributed uniformly throughout the system. Okay. Then when the substance completely undergoes combustion, completely underwent combustion, then find the final temperature. Now we have to go for final temperature. Final temperature in the sense substance completely burned. Okay, substance completely burned. That is the meaning. So final temperature of calorimeter we have to note it now. Final temperature of calorimeter we are noting. We noted a final temperature of calorimeter. Okay, sir. Now we will see this final temperature of calorimeter we have noted. Okay, here what process involved here that we'll see. This substance underwent combustion, therefore it released heat. This substance underwent combustion, therefore it released heat. That heat is absorbed by what? All the parts of the calorimeter. So substance underwent combustion, that heat is absorbed by all the parts of the calorimeter, we can say, sir. So now we can say the substance undergoes combustion, therefore it is releasing heat. Okay, it is releasing heat. Which is absorbing that heat? Which is absorbing that heat? So which is absorbing means this water is absorbing and calorimeter is absorbed. Water absorbs heat and calorimeter absorbs heat. All the parts is called calorimeter. So substance is undergoing combustion. This substance is undergoing combustion. It is releasing heat. That heat is absorbed by all the parts of the calorimeter and water. Okay. Now, what is the amount of heat liberated? What is the amount of heat liberated and what is the amount of heat absorbed? What is the relation between these two? We should make them equal. We should make them equal. Amount of heat liberated and amount of heat absorbed by water and calorimeter should be equal. For this case, what precaution we have to do? What precaution we have to do in the sense, this substance on combustion liberated heat, that heat should be absorbed by this calorimeter and water, but not surrounding. Surrounding should not absorb that heat. If surrounding absorbs heat, then we cannot find. Then this final temperature of calorimeter T2 we have taken. No, using this we cannot calculate combustion of heat of enthalpy of combustion of this substance. Therefore, this substance liberating heat, that heat should be absorbed by this water and this calorimeter, but not surrounding. Therefore, what we have to do? What we have to do in the sense, insulate this calorimeter. This insulate this outer part of this calorimeter. Okay, insulate this outer part of this calorimeter. So we have to insulate this outer part of the calorimeter. We can say. We can insulate this outer part of the calorimeter. Okay, if you go for perfect insulation, then heat will be accumulated here itself, but not outside. Surrounding will not take heat because of insulation. Sir, now we can say that the heat released by the substance. Okay, heat released by the substance is equal to heat absorbed by water and calorimeter, we can say. Sir, now heat absorbed by calorimeter is called ms delta T. Heat absorbed by calorimeter is called ms delta T. It is for calorimeter, it is for water. Okay, m is called mass of water, s is called specific heat of water, delta T is called change in temperature. That means initial temperature is T1, final temperature is T2, that we have noted using thermometer, that gives delta T, that we have to substitute here. M is called mass of calorimeter, S is called specific heat of calorimeter, delta T is called change in temperature. Here delta T remains same. Okay, sir. Now, using this relation, delta T we know from experiment. Specific heat is a certain value that we can take from table. Specific heat of calorimeter is constant value. Specific heat of water also constant value that we can take from table. M is called mass of calorimeter. Before doing experiment, we have to find the mass of calorimeter, then we have to start experiment. M is called mass of water, that weight also we know. Okay, so all the terms we know, therefore amount of heat liberated we know. Okay, so here this heat liberated is Q, that we can calculate. Okay, this much amount of heat liberated by which one, in the sense this W gram of substance, this W gram of substance liberates that much amount of heat. Okay, so now we can say W gram of substance, W gram of substance liberates, W gram of substance liberate Q amount of heat, Q amount of heat. Okay, W gram of substance liberates Q amount of heat, we can say. Substance is a W gram, that is liberating how much amount of heat? Q amount of heat. So now what we have to find? Enthalpy of combustion. Enthalpy of combustion, in the sense how much substance should undergo combustion? 1 mole. Okay, so remember that enthalpy of combustion, in the sense 1 mole of substance should undergo combustion. And another point you note it, enthalpy of reaction or standard enthalpy of reaction. Enthalpy of reaction is having certain types. One type is enthalpy of formation, next type is enthalpy of combustion, and so on. It's still more are there. This enthalpy of reaction, in the sense we should go for 1 mole. Enthalpy of formation means 1 mole of substance is formed. That is the condition. That is the definition. Enthalpy of combustion means 1 mole of substance undergo combustion. For that, how much heat is involved, that is called delta H. Okay. Similarly, other definitions also there. For that also you see that 1 mole only we will say. Okay, sir. Therefore, enthalpy of combustion we want, that means we have to make 1 mole of substance to undergo combustion. 1 mole of substance is having how much mass, in the sense gram molecular mass. 1 mole of substance is having how much mass, means gram molecular mass. Okay, therefore we have to take gram molecular mass of substance. Why we have taken gram molecular mass of substance? Because it is representing 1 mole. Okay, so gram molecular mass of substance on combustion, on complete combustion, liberates how much amount of heat? That is called energy involved in the combustion, heat involved in the combustion. So this is equal to what we can say, in the sense this Q into gram molecular mass by W. Okay. Now this is the amount of heat involved when 1 mole of substance undergo combustion. Therefore, shall we say this is delta H? Shall we call this is delta CH? Enthalpy of combustion shall we call? Q into gram molecular mass. Q is called amount of heat liberated. Okay, amount of heat liberated we have calculated as per this. GMM means gram molecular mass. W called weight of substance. Now, shall we say this is called enthalpy of combustion? No, we cannot say. We cannot say it is enthalpy of combustion. Why? Why we cannot say enthalpy of combustion? In the sense, see the vessel. See this calorimeter. How this calorimeter is there? It is closed. It is closed calorimeter, in the sense it is constant volume. It is under constant volume, but not under constant pressure. Sir, why we should see constant volume or constant pressure? Now see, delta U is equal to Q at constant volume and a given temperature. Delta H is called Q at constant pressure and a given temperature. If pressure is constant, then heat involved is called delta H. If volume is constant, then heat involved is called delta U. Here, what is constant in this calorimeter? Volume is constant or pressure is constant? Which one is constant, do you think? Volume is constant because it is fixed, closed. Here we cannot say pressure is constant. So since volume is constant, the amount of heat involved in this process is called delta U, but not delta H. So therefore this we can say as delta U we can say, or delta C U we can say. That means internal energy of combustion we can say. This is called internal energy of combustion, but not enthalpy of combustion. So now what we have to do means this internal energy of combustion we have to convert into enthalpy of combustion. So how to find enthalpy of combustion? We'll see. For that we'll see the relation H is equal to U plus PV. It is a relation between what? Enthalpy and internal energy. Enthalpy and internal energy is related like this. Then we will see change. We will see delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. Pressure we kept constant, P delta V we kept set. Then we can say delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. How to write means PV is equal to nRT we will write, then P change in volume, then N we will say delta NG, RT we will take. In the previous class, we have used one type of relation. What is that relation? Means in the place of P delta V, what we have substituted in the sense PV is equal to nRT, we have taken in the form of what? Means P delta V is equal to nR delta T we took. And we substituted in the place of P delta V, nR delta T we substituted, and we got a relation Cp minus Cv is equal to R. But here what we are taking? P delta V is equal to delta Ng RT we are taking. In this case delta T we have taken, here delta N we are taking. Why? Why in the sense? In the equation, number of moles of gases will remain always same or different. That we will see. Now we will take one equation, we will take. Now you see this equation. Here it is solid. It is 1 mole of gas. It is 1 mole of gas. Change in number of moles of gas is 0 here. Okay. Now we will take this equation. In this equation, you see, it is solid, leave it. It is gas, 15. It is gas, 14. It is liquid, leave it. Change in number of moles of gas, is it 0? Here 1. So change in number of moles of gas in a given equation, we can't say always 0. Sometimes 0, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. Therefore what we have to take in the sense, here delta Ng we have to take. This delta Ng in the sense change in number of moles of gaseous substances in a equation. It can be 0 in some cases, positive in some cases, negative in some cases. T we have to take, particular temperature we have to take. Sorry, we are taking particular temperature, but in calorimeter experiment temperature is changing, no, but final temperature remains constant, isn't it? Sir. So that temperature we are taking as a given temperature, we are taking number of moles we are writing as a change in number of moles we are writing, therefore change in volume, like this we are taking. Okay, so remember that P delta V is equal to delta Ng RT we are taking here, wantedly we are taking. But in the case of when in the derivation of Cp minus Cv is equal to R, P delta V is equal to nR delta T we took. Okay, depending on the requirement we are taking. Okay, so it is not fixed that we should always take like this. Okay, so substitute this P delta V in this place. Which P delta V we have to substitute means delta Ng RT we have to substitute. Sir. Next, so delta H is equal to delta U plus delta Ng RT we got. Okay, so at a given temperature we are finding delta H and delta U relation. So T is called a given temperature, R is constant, you know. Delta Ng is called what? Delta Ng is called a number of moles of gaseous products. Gaseous products, number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants. Number of moles of gaseous reactants. Okay, so delta Ng is equal to number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants, we can say. This is a delta Ng. Okay, so if the equation is given, otherwise on writing equation we can say that delta Ng, so we know delta Ng, R is constant, we know. Given temperature also we know delta U we are getting from warm calorimeter experiment. From that we can find delta H. Okay, so enthalpy of combustion we have to find experimentally like this. Okay, so remember that what is the relation between delta H and delta U? Delta H is equal to delta U plus delta Ng RT. What is delta Ng? Delta Ng, number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants. Okay, sir. Next, we will go for another enthalpy of reaction. Now we have completed enthalpy of combustion. We have completed. Next, we will go for enthalpy of solution. Now we are going for enthalpy of solution. We will take. Okay, enthalpy of solution. Sir, what is meant by enthalpy of solution? Sir, enthalpy of solution means when solution is formed, heat involved, is it taking place? When solution is formed, heat involved, is it taking place? Okay, let us see. Now in the summer times we are taking glucose solution, isn't it? Glucose solution we are taking in the sense, on drinking glucose solution, we feel cool or not? For that case, whether it is how to feel that one, that we'll see. We felt that one on during summer times we are taking glucose solution, we are feeling cooling. That means just you take 1 spoon of glucose in the hand. Okay, take 1 spoon of glucose in the hand, add water and stir it. Glucose dissolves in water while you will feel cool. In your hand will feel cool. Why we are feeling cooling? When glucose is dissolving in water, we feel cool. What is the reason? Glucose dissolves in water by absorbing heat from surrounding. So dissolution of glucose is endothermic. Dissolution of glucose is endothermic means what? Glucose dissolves in water by absorbing heat, we can say. Correct? Therefore, what is therefore enthalpy of solution means heat involved or not, you say. Dissolution of glucose involves heat. Then in the same way, preparation of a dilute sulfuric acid in the lab, we can see. In the lab, what they will do means, from industry concentrated sulfuric acid they will purchase and dilute sulfuric acid they will prepare. How they are preparing dilute sulfuric acid? In the sense, required quantity of concentrated sulfuric acid we have to take and water, required quantity of water we have to take. We have to add corn sulfuric acid slowly into water with constant stirring. Like this, dilute sulfuric acid will be prepared. While you touch the vessel, outer part of the vessel of preparation of solution, touch it, you feel hot. When corn sulfuric acid is transferred into water for preparing dilute sulfuric acid, what happens means that vessel outer part, if you touch, we feel hot. That means the process is exothermic. No, heat is liberated or not, otherwise how do we feel hot? So formation of solution involves heat or not? In this case exothermic. No. So formation of solution is forming means sometimes exothermic, sometimes endothermic, sometimes nothing. When sometimes nothing, in the sense, dissolve salt in water, dissolve salt in water and touch it, we feel normal. If we touch normal water, how we will feel? In that way only we will feel when we dissolve table salt in water. That means it is neither exothermic nor endothermic. So formation of solution, in the sense, there will be some delta H. Delta H value will be very low, otherwise endothermic, otherwise exothermic, otherwise nearly zero. Like this possibility is there. Sir, okay. So what is the definition of enthalpy of solution? That we will see. Okay. So enthalpy of solution means take 1 mole of solute. Take 1 mole of solute, then add required quantity of solvent. Required quantity of solvent we have to add. Okay. So preparing dilute sulfuric acid means what? We have to take particular amount of concentrated sulfuric acid and calculated amount of water. Then only we have to transfer corn sulfuric acid into water with constant stirring. Then only we will get a required concentration of dilute sulfuric acid solution. Okay. Therefore, you take 1 mole of solute and take required quantity of solvent, calculated quantity of solvent. and prepare a particular concentration of solution. Particular concentration of solution. In this process, what is the amount of heat involved? That is called enthalpy of solution. Okay, so remember that enthalpy of solution means how much solute you have to take. 1 mole of solute you have to take. Calculated quantity of solvent you have to take. Mix them, prepare solution. This solution will have certain concentration of solute. In this process, what is the amount of heat involved? That is called enthalpy of solution. Okay, whether it is it is correct or wrong, we will see. Now we will take 1 mole of HCl gas. To this, then what we are taking means exactly 10 moles of water we will take. We will prepare a solution. We prepared a solution. In this solution, 1 mole of HCl is there, 10 moles of water is there. What is the heat involved in this process? In the sense 69.49 kilojoule per mole. Okay, it is minus indicates exothermic. This minus indicates exothermic. That means heat liberated. Heat is liberated. Okay, so delta RH is this much. Sorry. In this process, why heat is liberated? In this process, this process is exothermic. We are saying minus means exothermic. That means heat liberated. Why in this process heat is liberated? Why it is acting as exothermic? That we'll see. Now we will take a HCl gas. We are taking HCl gas. In this HCl gas, H is having a 1 electron. Cl valence shell is having 7 electrons. Therefore, 7 dots we will give for Cl. 7 dots we have given for Cl. Next, we will take water molecule. Water molecule will take. In the water molecule, central atom is oxygen. This oxygen valence shell is having 6 electrons. This oxygen valence shell is having 6 electrons. Okay. In the water, central atom is oxygen. This oxygen valence shell is having 6 electrons, we can say. Now, this oxygen is contributing this lone pair to this hydrogen. Then this bond pair is shifting to Cl. Shifting to Cl. That means this oxygen is contributing lone pair to this hydrogen, while this bond pair is shifting to Cl. In the sense, hydrogen is contributing what to this oxygen? Vacant orbital it is contributing. Okay, this hydrogen is contributing vacant orbital to oxygen. This oxygen is contributing lone pair, but hydrogen is contributing vacant orbital because this bond pair is shifting to chlorine. Therefore, between oxygen and hydrogen, what type of bond is formed? Covalent bond or hydrogen bond or a metallic bond or ionic bond or which bond? That means dative bond. Dative bond means what? One should contribute lone pair, another should contribute vacant orbital. Here see, oxygen is contributing lone pair, hydrogen is contributing vacant orbital. So between oxygen and hydrogen, what bond is formed? Dative bond is formed. So here we can say dative bond, we can say dative bond. Okay, for hydrogen we'll write plus. Why we have to write plus? Because Cl is taking the bond pair and leaves. Okay, Cl is having 4 lone pairs now. Cl has taken this bond pair completely. Therefore, for hydrogen loss, Cl gain. For Cl minus 1, for hydrogen plus 1. Then we will write this dative bond as normal covalent bond by giving formal charges. Okay, this lone pair will write. Now, formal charge how to give means oxygen is donor. For donor, you have to give minus 1. Sorry, plus 1. For donor, we have to give plus 1. Hydrogen is acceptor. For acceptor, we have to give minus 1. Already plus 1 is there, therefore becoming 0. Now, this is called what in the sense hydronium ion. It is called what in the sense hydronium ion. H3O plus is hydronium ion. Okay. H3O plus is called hydronium ion. Therefore, when we pass HCl gas into water, what is produced in the sense hydronium ion is produced and Cl minus is produced. So, then this hydronium ion will be attracted by water molecules. So, now we will take water molecule. We have taken water molecule here. So, how this water molecule is attracting hydronium ion, that point we will see. Now see that this oxygen